You're up.
Oh, good afternoon, good evening, good morning even potentially, wherever you might be joining us from today. Thank you for being here. We're excited to be showing off the Sims 4 Vintage Glamour stuff. It is the newest stuff pack for the Sims 4, and it's actually coming out next week. Now, I'm Graham Nardone. Some of you may know me as Sim Guru Graham on the forums or on Twitch. And I'm joined today by Thomas.
Hey guys.
Quick intro, Thomas. Let the people know.
So I'm the tech designer on this pack, so I pretty much put it all together, and I also design it. So.
All right. Pretty challenging one, right? This was an interesting one for us.
Yeah, this was really interesting. We touched a lot of systems with this one. So.
Yep.
System based is just how much of the game we affected with this pack. So.
Yeah. And I don't think I mentioned it, but I am a producer on Stuff Packs, so I get to corral everything that we do, and Thomas is the real star, along with all the people back in the studio who did the hard work on that. So just quickly, before we jump into the game, I think I mentioned this Stuff Pack is coming out next week. It'll be releasing on December 6th for most of the world. If you're on the other side of a date line somewhere, it might be out on December 7th for you, but it is a simultaneous global release, and it's going to be kind of your standard Stuff Pack price. So that's $9.99 in North America, or whatever it normally is for your region. So look forward to that. That said, what do you say we go ahead and just hop into the game? Let's take a look at this thing.
Let's do it.
So Steve, off camera here, if you want to swap us over.
I swapped you over. You're good.
Thank you, Steve. He is our technical whiz.
I don't think you really got on camera there, but close enough.
So here we are in Create a Sim. Things are looking as expected. Of course, This is Bella Goth, one of our more famous Sims, and I think she is well known for her red dress.
Yes.
But why don't we take a look at some of the new options that she has in Vintage Glamour stuff. So we'll start off with this nice full body, again, kind of red, suiting her. But of course, we have a number of options to go with that as well. So maybe a black and white, or we even have solids. Lots of great ones to choose from just to augment her look. Mm-hmm. And then kind of something maybe that I would wear at home. Well, not myself.
I don't think you wear this one at home, but you know.
But to be worn at home, a nice little maybe nightgown here with some sheer fabric along with the solids. Just a really lovely ensemble. And of course, again, a number of different colors that you can select from here, even back to her lovely red. And just one fun one in here. Now, there are butlers in this stuff pack, so for anybody who's tuning in and doesn't know what this pack is yet, that is why this outfit exists. We just wanted to make it available for players if you're going to role play a different scenario, or maybe you just want somebody who looks like a butler in your home. You can go in here and select this outfit, and it does come with a number of fun color choices, kind of a muted brown or the really classy all white. So that'll just be fun for people to play with. Now, a couple of different tops as well. This one, nice high back there, so very classy. And then another one here, just looking lovely. And then just a tiny open area in the back.
You looked this up before, Graham, but what is that called?
I have no idea. Thank you, Thomas.
You're welcome.
Do you know what it's called?
I think we looked it up as a scallop back, but we still could be completely wrong.
I don't think it's a scallop back. I'm sure somebody in chat will be more than happy to tell us. But again, great color styles. A lot of solid kind of basic colors in this pack. Because again, this is kind of reaching back. It's going for that vintage look. So a lot of beautiful, just like plain looks here. And we can match a nice new skirt with that as well. I like that blue on blue, but we can go with a number of different choices here. Kind of a sheer gray.
Yeah.
And then this pack actually comes with a number of accessories as well, which is quite nice. So let me actually switch back to a top where I can show this better. Now we have two watches for the ladies. Kind of a thin, elegant one there. Again, lots of color choices. Or a larger one. Now this one's more for the men, but of course with that new expanded creative style that we have, you can put these on any sim. So it's really up to you how you'd like that to look. And even a nice new pair of shoes. So again, some formal choices, but we'll take a look at that on Mortimer, I think. Actually, let me just take her leggings off here. So even a nice little plumb bob on top, looking great. And then it wouldn't be a stuff pack without a few different hair options. So nice kind of updo for Bella there with a, what is that, a clasp in the back, I think we would call that.
Clasp.
Looking nice. And then just a short hairstyle as well, which is lovely. And again, plenty of new accessories. So we have some great new earrings. Actually, let me go back to that updo again. These
Shows
are
it
great
off
for
better.
showing them off, yeah. And just beautiful stuff. Really classic looks again. So just simple pearl earrings, teardrop earrings, great options. Some new necklaces. It's looking quite nice. And even a choice with some flowers here. So, and let's take a look at the men's fashion in the pack. Now, here's Mortimer, who we all know and love. Now, let's say he's going into the office for the day. Really classic look. What? He looks great. What's so funny, Thomas?
Oh no, he just looks like he has the perfect hairdo for like being like the CEO, but he's wearing the shirt you expect to wear at like the desk job. Like he's stuck in a cubicle, but he has the CEO look.
Is Mortimer kind of CEO level? That's where
He's
you have him
CEO
pegged?
looking, at least for
Okay.
his hairstyle and mustache.
Yeah. It's true. You do need a nice refined mustache to rise up those management ranks. That actually, looking at that one right there, I'd like to go back and pair that with maybe a dine out waiter.
Oh yeah.
But hey, lots of good choices in here. Nice stuff to choose from. Again, we have the butler for anybody who wants to do that for their men. But I actually like our smoking jacket. This might be my favorite option in the pack. Now, of course, no smoking in The Sims, but maybe this is something you'd put on after, say, using the bubble blower.
Yeah, so
in,
the bubble
city
jacket.
living. Now, the standard kind of plain looks on this one are great, but I really love the patterns. I think that's where this asset really comes to life. Some of these paisley styles are just fantastic. Which one's for you, Thomas, if you're going to wear one of these?
I think I'd have to go with the red and gold one.
Yeah, that one.
Just the one that
That
stands
is my
out the
favorite.
most.
I think that's the one we ended up using on kind of the pack cover art.
Stands
so.
out the most.
And then this is for a serious day at the office. You know, before a little casual with the short sleeves, but man, you get those suspenders on, you know you're getting some work done that day.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday today, Graham.
And we have some nice new kind of formal shoes to match with that. I don't think we'll do blue for him, but maybe these browns. We have both kind of the laced version and the buckle version. So those are great for lots of occasions.
I just realized with all this clothing, I could probably make my dad in The Sims now.
Well, first time for everything. Great new hairstyle for the men. Again, I love these glasses. These are fantastic. Go great for both men and women, but I think I just love this tortoiseshell pattern on the glasses. Like, that is perfect. That is straight out of Golden Era Hollywood, which this pack is centered around. So really fun new looks for our Sims. And then we have a little in there for the children as well. So just really quickly, let's take a look at Alexander here. Now he's got a nice new jacket. That's kind of in line with his look, and a new hairstyle for him as well. So kind of that slicked back to the side look, looking nice. And then this Sim, who knows who she is? She's not a goth. She is just here for demonstration purposes
She's Sim
today.
6, because we never actually named her.
Yeah, so we'll really quickly show what she has available. So for our children, we have this new dress. Now this is kind of fun because you could use this as both formal wear or maybe even, you know, daughter's version of that nightgown that we saw Bella wearing earlier. So that's pretty cool. And again, some really fun colors, some kind of laid back colors. just whatever choice suits your need. Whew. All right, and one new hairstyle as well for them. So I like this. It's got the little flower pearl clip up top. Very pretty, refined. So Cass is looking fantastic.
Yeah.
Why don't we actually hop back to live mode, and then we'll see some of these beautiful new objects that are coming with the stuff pack. Ooh, I see chat is just streaming by. Thomas, if you happen to see any pertinent comments or just funny comments while we're going, feel free, shout them out.
I will try to comment.
We are going to do some Q&A later, but if we happen to see anything as we go, by all means.
Yeah.
So let's hop into build mode here and just take a look at Goth Manor. For those of you who are familiar with their home, you'll see it's gotten a bit of a makeover. Normally a little darker, a little bleaker, but I really wanted to spruce it up for our live stream. So we went in here and we're using all sorts of beautiful new vintage glamour objects. So I'm just going to filter down here so we can see some of what those are specifically. In our living room, kind of starting with the centerpiece of any living room, a beautiful new fireplace.
Just from one view, by the way, Graham, it seems a lot of people want to have this in the gallery.
Oh, yeah, I always put a lot of effort into these homes for each stream. I would be happy to upload it to the gallery once the pack launches. So maybe just, get at me on Twitter this week and I'll let people know when that's available. Somebody was actually asking me specifically earlier this week. They said, I need a plain black coffee table. That's really what I want. And so I have just the thing for you.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So if you want some kind of plain options or if you want some more spruced up colors, we have a wide variety of choices available in this pack, which will just look great. Some new sofas. This wall divider is actually really handy. It's very versatile if you're using it to just kind of break up a space or you want to actually align it along the walls of a room. I think it creates a really cool pattern on plain wallpaper backgrounds or painted walls. So that's really quite nice. We have our glow bar over here, which is one of the new gameplay objects in vintage glamour stuff. And we'll take a look at how that functions just a bit later. This fun kind of sundial, sun rug. A beautiful new chandelier. Now, I've heard some people commenting before, oh, we have all these chandeliers, but they're hard to place. They're so large. So actually, if you take a look, this is just a single tile chandelier. Sims can actually route under it in most room heights. So very versatile. And then I love this new poster that comes with the pack. It's probably being a little not really sprucing it up enough to call it a poster. It's a beautiful pop art. And if you go through these different variants, just kind of looks like some lovely celebrities to me. Now, this actually gives a hint at the origin of this stuff pack, I have to say.
Yeah.
Maybe you remember the early days, Thomas, when we were kind of conceptualizing what this might be. And I think originally we'd called it red carpet stuff.
Yes.
Because we were talking about, it's maybe coming out right around the award season. We want to think about how we could play up that theme in The Sims 4. And as we started talking about gameplay for the pack, we found there's a lot of cool objects we can do, but we really wanted to focus it within the home, something that players are going to get a lot of use out of, in their day-to-day Sims game.
Yeah.
And so we kind of focus back towards vintage glamour away from Hollywood, but it still retains a lot of that golden era Hollywood style. And I think you might see that in this lion as well. If you're familiar with the Chinese theater from Hollywood, I think that's where this little guy may have been inspired from.
Yeah, I forget what they're called. It goes off the top of my head, but we do have a comment. Why don't you go with the move the camera along that background?
Oh, yes. This is
wallpaper.
a gorgeous new wallpaper. And if I just kind of rotate the camera slowly here, you can see that sheen on the diamond pattern. So that will actually catch the light and glisten, which is beautiful. Some new curtains on our windows as well. Those are actually new windows in the background. So a whole lot of new content. Now, I don't know what Steve's whispering about over there. It's very distracting when I'm trying to do a live stream. I keep thinking I'm in trouble here.
You're not in trouble, actually.
I think there's something going around in the background we're not aware of at the moment.
But
Back on track.
let's look at some more of these beautiful new objects. So another new wallpaper here. This one again has a bit of that glistening sheen on it, and comes in a variety of colors. A new nice Art Deco door, just gorgeous. And here's another example of that curtain, but there's two different options in the catalog you can see. One comes with kind of this paisley decor on the side of it, and one's just plain. So you can use those and use left and right versions of those to really mix and match and get the ideal look for your room.
Add a little extra flair if you really want it.
Now, going upstairs here, you can see some kind of variations in the colors that are available. So that same wallpaper from down below, I love the black on black version. I just feel like it's really subdued but classy. But even here, it's looking beautiful. And we have some more kind of wild colors as well. This is Cassandra's room, you know, the rebellious teenager. So she's got a lot of purple and pink going on. So, oh, is that a new bed I see? I remember about a year ago, a lot of people were clamoring for more beds and stuff packs. So that may give you a little sense of kind of the timeline that we work with when we start hearing your ideas and when we can actually respond to them. But
Yeah.
let's just take a look at it in the catalog here. Because this is actually a high energy, high stress relief bed. I know people wanted some more of those in the catalog. And again, another new bed in this pack provides some nice discomfort relief as well. So just giving you some more options in your high-end homes. And we have to take a moment to point out the giraffe lamp. The giraffe lamp is love. The giraffe lamp is life.
The giraffe lamp is shy. It doesn't like it showing its face.
I think that's another one of those fun little Hollywood touches that came back from when it was red carpet stuff.
Yeah.
And we just had to leave some of those options in there as the pack evolved. Now, moving over into the master bedroom, we even see a new mirror on the wall here. Oh, that reminds me. I would be remiss if I did not mention the gorgeous new full-length wall mirrors in this pack. Now, these are absolutely stunning. I think out of all the objects in the pack, these may be my favorite. So just
Sam
to
likes mirrors.
no, well, they're really cool. Like, and a client systems engineer somewhere is going to be unhappy that I've tiled them all along the wall like this. But look what you do to expand your space. Isn't that beautiful, Thomas? Come on.
Beautiful. Right?
So just to show a little bit of what these are capable of course we have 3 different wall heights in the game, and we have mirrors to match all of those. So all of these are floor to ceiling. You have your short one, your medium tall one, and of course a nice tall one to match this room. And again, a wide variety of colors just to match whatever look you may be going for.
Have we shown the color, like the different bed color options?
We haven't. Why don't we take a look at some of those?
Is
I'm gonna peek here. Oh, we can see Amanda on the camera. So for anybody who does not know, this is Amanda. She is our lovely community manager, and she'll be chiming in from time to time on the stream, just in case I forget things that are really cool, like this bed.
I think
So-
we're distracted by the
It's very
mirrors,
important.
Graham.
Well, I think what I liked about this one is it's kind of a standard bed. It's elegant, it's
Yeah.
nice, it's high end, but at the same time, you have some really basic options. You could put this bed in any bedroom, and you're going to have a high end bed to sleep on, which is just comfortable.
What about the other bed? You want to show some examples of that?
We do. This is the one in the master bedroom. It's a little more padding on the head and end boards there, in this nice diamond pattern. Ooh, regal. So that's quite lovely.
That one matches our bubble jacket.
And then over here with all the nice bay window lighting is our new vanity table. Now, this is the other new gameplay object in the stuff pack, and we'll be taking a look at how that functions in just a bit. But we have both this plain version, and we kind of have an older style wooden version. So again, something to give you options when you're mixing and matching in your own home. And just on the ground there, a nice kind of faux fur skin rug. No real fur, No animals or llamas harmed. It's just nice synthetic fur.
What are the color options on that?
Oh, well then. We've got some bright ones. We've got some
It's a very
grass.
bright pink.
And just your standard furs. So lots of good choices. I like this little beverage cart. Now this is actually clever. This is a end table, but you know, thematically you can place it anywhere. It's going to look great. It's got that mirrored surface on it. So that was a fun detail from Movie Hangout where we first tried that, and players seemed to really like it. So we brought it back for a few of our new end tables in this pack.
So now you can have mirrors everywhere.
Mirrors on tables, mirrors on the walls.
Next we need a ceiling mirrorgram. Let's do that.
And going up to the roof, we have our child's bedroom. So here's Alexander. He's got some funky turquoise styles. He's having a good time. Variety of dressers, both tall and short. New ottoman. And even this like crazy jellyfish style lamp, which I like quite a bit. And here is our future butler's bedroom. Nobody is losing this one yet. I've laid it out in anticipation of who will be joining our household shortly. And just lastly, before we actually get to our butler, for those of you who are not avid builders, why don't we take a look at a couple of the new styled rooms coming in the pack. These are just, you know, quick, easy building options for those of you who don't want to delve too deeply into build mode, but still want something that looks great in your room. And again, this is like kind of that great use of the divider I was talking about, where we've got contemporary on the right, very posh on the left for our vanity table. So beautiful.
So there's a question, are there any new bathtubs in the pack?
No new bathtubs in this one. This pack really didn't focus on the bathroom so much. So there's that new mirror that you can use in a bathroom, but other than that, not in this stuff pack. Nice living room option here. I love that color style on the glow bar.
Do you want to? There's a question to see the color swat palettes on the couch.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll pull one of those out in just a second here.
I was trying to get it before you deleted it, but oh well.
Great dining room. Again, using those wall mirrors. And last one here, and then we'll go take a look at that couch. Just another elegant bedroom. So, comes with the vanity table pre-installed for those of you who need that. And here's our sofa. Let's take a look at what we have here. So again, kind of some different darks with pillow options, and then some brighter ones as well. So, quite nice. So, let's hop into live mode.
Let's do it.
Now, again, we've seen Goth Manor, but we've never seen it quite
wow.
like this because
Jeez.
our kitchen is not in good shape. Our fridge is broken down. There's fire spewing out. I see some dirty counters and puddles.
I think they were too focused on their remodeling that they forgot to take care of everything else.
I know. Our toilet's all backed up. And actually, there is a new member of the Goth household. This is Little Paige Goth. So our Goth family is extremely busy. They can't tend to all of these chores. So why don't we have Bella here actually hire a butler for us who's going to help fix this problem. You just go right over here to hire a service. If we scroll down, a very reasonable $12 an hour, I'd say. It'll hit you in the wallet later. It adds up. And we're going to ask for a butler to be sent our way. Now, maybe a little small on the stream, but that notification is telling us that the Windenburg Butlering Academy has sent us an excellent candidate to join our residence as a live-in butler. And it just gives you a little tip about some things to set up to help your butler upon arrival. You'll want to give them a bed, and you can even set up kind of private accommodations for them if you wish. Say I was to give our butler Cassandra's bedroom. I can just click on the lock here, and you'll see there's a new option for everyone but the butler. So great for giving them their own private room. Now let's see if our butler has arrived. Aha.
He just arrived.
Now here we have Brooks Fleming.
Another good name.
A good British chap. Well, yeah, that should be British, right? Fleming? I hope so.
Not going to think about it right now.
It is in the Sims world.
But
He's from Windermere.
It's Winder, yeah.
So let's go introduce ourselves here to
And
Brooks.
of course, the first thing he cleans is the coffee maker.
That's true. He's got a lot of work ahead of him, Thomas. He's going to need a little pep in his step later. So let's say a friendly hello.
So while they're doing that, Graham, would you consider this to be the biggest pack we've had? We've had a question about how big this pack actually
Oh
is.
boy, for stuff packs, yeah, I think you could maybe look at it that way. 2 new gameplay objects, kind of the new service NPC butler that you're going to interact with, and of course all the great objects and clothing. It's a big stuff pack. It's great. Now, one thing I like to do when I first meet my butler is I use these new management socials. Actually, just backing out here. On the pie menu, you've got a new butler category, and this is where you're going to go to manage everything with your butler. And I like to give them a little praise to start off with. These management socials help them work in different ways, and if I praise my butler, he's inspired to work harder, to work faster, and boy, does this house ever need it.
Yeah, it does. So, Graham, there's a quick question that someone asked. Can you kill the butler?
Yes, your butler can die. Now, you can't kill him in that you go out and purposely knock him off, but your butler can die through the course of play. In which case, the Butler Academy will be more than happy to promptly send a replacement, which is always greatly appreciated.
They're not too miffed about, getting one of their employees' bodies back.
Dr. Gluon goes 100 butler challenge.
Now, one other thing I like to set up early on with my butlers, how they respond to visitors in the home. Now, by default, they're just going to ignore the front door, but I don't want all these people walking up and bothering me. So I'm just going to ask my butler to dismiss any visitor who might come to the home, and they will just take care of that for me.
And depending on the tone of the bell that rings, they'll know what order you've given.
Oh, it's true. They're highly trained. Part of their job is to have a little ear implant so they, hear that bell through all the walls and everything. So no matter where they are on the lot, they'll take care of it.
So someone's asking, do the butlers actually swipe over tables to check if they're clean or not?
Yes, and we might actually see that during the stream today. Right now, however, a butler
He's
is
got a lot to do.
tending to the garden. So we had some weeds out here. We had some plants that needed watering. Now, normally you might hire the gardener to come take care of this for you, but your butler is well versed in everything the home needs, so he will tend to the garden. But let's say Mortimer is a budding green thumb enthusiast. He wants to work on his gardening skill. So maybe I don't want my butler taking away opportunities to raise that gardening skill. I want to be the one to weed in the garden. So I can just come down to responsibilities under my butler. And here we have kind of the core things that he wants to take care of and he wants to be responsible for. But I want to be the gardener. So I'm going to tell him to stop gardening. And now he's just going to leave our garden alone.
Even if it starts going and, all the plants start dying or decaying, he'll just leave it alone.
Sure. The one exception to that really is babies in the home. Just because babies are special sims and they do require a lot of care. If a baby is in distress, butlers will still go and take care of them in the direst
He
of
does have a
situations.
conscience.
Yes, indeed. So our butler is helping with the refrigerator here. And just so that he's welcome in our home, I'll show how we go ahead and set the bed up for him. So you can click on any bed in your home and assign bed to butler. You just go right in here and we'll select Brooks. And that's now his bedroom. He's going to stay in there. He'll sleep in there every night, and he will certainly appreciate that.
There was actually a question from Cinderella Mouse of whether you can force a butler to live in a tent. For reasons.
Oh boy. I don't believe you can assign the tents as their beds. So unless it's a standard bed.
Yeah, it has to be a standard bed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a tent is not a standard bed.
Now, being kind of that deviant mind space, I think if you were to not assign your butler a bed, they do look for other opportunities to sleep.
Yes.
Which means normally they may go nap on a sofa. Potentially, they might pass out in a tent.
They might go to a tent to go to sleep. Yeah.
Maybe something for you all to discover. We'll see how that goes. So one thing that might be fun, just while our butler tends to the home, is a little bit of a goth fashions show. So why don't we gather them all together? and take a look at some of the new styles that look just perfect for our family. Now, we saw some of those assets earlier, but I went ahead and I tailored a few looks specific to the Goths. So Mortimer here, again, has this kind of subdued red workday outfit. We've got, again, the suspenders. I love these for him. And last one, again, that bubble blower jacket. So he's just going to be comfortable in the home with that. Now for Bella, we've got kind of the long evening dress for very formal occasions. Again, kind of a more preppy, fashionable out on the town look. And we'll leave her in her robe as well, just to relax in the home.
They've got someone else to take care of all the chores. What do they need to do?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I just want to relax. I want to be comfortable in my own home. Butler's working hard, but that doesn't mean I can kind of kick back a bit. And for Cassandra here, kind of a nice black and white ensemble for her. I put some very formal shoes on her to go with her new raindrop earring and necklace there. Quite nice. And we'll have Alexander just hanging out in his new jacket as well. Excellent. So, it looks like our butler hasn't had a chance to get to repairing the TV yet. But I have seen some people asking if you can have both your butler and other service NPCs at the same time. Actually, that's just fine. So this home is in such dire need. Why don't we go ahead and hire a repairman to come visit?
Sure. And we'll wait for him to arrive. Can you romance and befriend the butler?
You absolutely can. So I believe we already had Bella introduce herself. Oh no,
well.
he walked in on her. Of course, he's embarrassed. He is going to immediately leave. That is not good butler service. Oh, poor Brooks. You have a lot to tend to in the kitchen. Why don't you get back to that?
But looks like he's getting to that stove.
So all of the traditional social options are available with your butler. So should Bella wish to romance her butler, she could. If you want to just be friends, just fine. Or any of the other kind of options available to you. So yes, if you want to woohoo your butler, go for it. So let's see, did our repairman arrive? You know what? We're not going to wait around for our repairman. Let's just go ahead. We'll spend the money. We hired the butler, but we're rich. We're the Goths. And let's have Cassandra come upstairs and watch the new TV channel that's coming with Vintage Glamour stuff. So one of the other fun little features in this pack is the TV Classics station. Now, this is inspired by kind of shows from the era that this pack's really evoking. So we'll come and watch TV Classics. Black and white shows from the golden age of TV. So there's a few different shows that are on here. I'll just let us all enjoy this first one, and then I'll leave the remainder for others to discover once the pack comes out. So
Old show, stage show.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like
variety show.
Yeah, variety show. Yeah.
Seems to be going well so far. Oh, I wonder what she'll do for us. Ooh.
That might be a good place to stop that one.
Yep. We'll
Different standards back then.
we'll leave the rest for another day. Now let's take a look at some of the fun new objects that come with this pack. And one of them, of course, is that glow bar that we mentioned earlier. Now, when we click on here, we can pour drinks, or we have this new choice to make a drink platter. Now this is just for the glow bar.
Yep.
It doesn't go back to your standard bar, but it's perfect when you have, maybe a family who's unwinding after a long day, or you have a social gathering. So there's actually more recipes in this, I believe 5 in total. But Mortimer here doesn't have his mixology skill quite high enough for the other ones yet. But we can just pop that open, make ourselves a nice platter of drinks, and we'll enjoy some for Mortimer and for Bella. Now that being said, it's despite its name, it is not just an object for our adults. Little Alexander here, quite the curious mind, can come over and study this new globe, and he'll have a lot of fun with that. Now, I just want to point out quickly, there's a little tiny Easter egg. Don't get yourself too hyped up, but just a little fun thing we threw in here, a callback to Sims of the past. So maybe take a look at that when you get your hands on Vintage Glamour and just have a little smile about it. Now we're seeing him spinning it around. He'll spot little different places on the globe. I think the funniest one he did just a moment ago is he spun it too hard.
And something broke.
Shattered some glasses. Mortimer won't be too happy with that the next time he goes to get some neat juice. But until then, we don't want to hang around and get in trouble for it. So let's go upstairs to our vanity table. Oh, yes. What do you mean, oh no, Thomas? This is a super cool object. Now, the vanity table is really meant to be an opportunity for you to select special kind of makeup looks for your Sims when they're going out on the town for an evening, maybe out to a restaurant or out on a date. And so it's not permanently applying makeup to your Sims.
Mm-hmm.
So if we just take a look at Bella here, let's get her in the vanity.
For those of you who don't know, the reason why I'm saying oh no is because I've kind of been stocked with a makeup kit for the last 2 or 3 weeks.
We both had to learn a lot about makeup for this fact, right, Thomas? Now, if we take a look at Bella, she's got kind of some smoky blue eyes, a nice black eyeliner, a little blush on the cheeks, some red lips. Mm-hmm. But let's select a different look for her. We can go right in here to apply makeup. And there's around 50 different choices you can choose from, and they're kind of categorized so you know what you're picking from. Let's go for something just radically different for her. So maybe purple eyes and satin violet lips. And we'll see what that looks like.
So while we're waiting for her to apply her makeup, will butlers take care of babies?
Yes, so butlers do fill the role of the nanny. They don't have everything that the nanny does, so you can still hire those other service NPCs and get some of the more specific benefits. But the butler will tend to both children and babies. So I haven't seen if little Paige in the background over there. Take a little look. She seems to be napping happily, but she will be tended to by her butler if need be. Now, if we take a look at Bella here, she has applied that new look. Now, this is one of our more radical makeups. There's a lot of classic ones in here. I wanted to select one that was really brightly visible for her so you can see kind of what that change looks like. Now, let's have Bella actually come over here and change her outfit, just to give you an example. So, obviously, we're not going out on the town in this.
No.
But if we were to put on, say, our formal wear. You could. But we're going to put on our formal outfit, and you'll see she still has her makeup. She's ready to go out on the town. But, of course, we can always remove that makeup. And like I mentioned, it's temporary. So if she goes and takes a bath, or let's say she goes to sleep at the end of the day, she's actually going to go back to her standard look that we've set in Create a Sim. So again, what I really love about this object is the ability to quickly set up different makeups. You try on different ones. You see your Sim having fun with that. And then again, you can just go right back to your normal look afterwards. There's no need to go load in the Create a Sim and mess around with that. Now, again.
There's the butler taking care of the baby.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Very handy indeed. Oh, he might actually be doing, yes, a little cleaning on our vanity table. Bella made a bit of a mess, I guess. But let's have Alexander here sit down. Because children can actually play with makeup. So they don't have the same options as our adults. Our adults are very refined in the way they apply makeup. They know what they're doing. But children, they're just learning. They're having a little fun. So we'll see how he... Oh, I didn't cue it up, I guess.
It's all right. We got to watch the background.
Yep, there he goes, taking care of the baby again. So kids have a bunch of fun with it. They do have a variety of outcomes from very bad to somewhat okay.
Yep.
I think the best outcome is generally, oh, I got the right things in the right place on my face, even if they don't look fantastic. But he's having a good time there. Let's see what outcome he gets.
So while we're waiting for him to finish applying his makeup, can you have multiple butlers?
No, so one butler per household, but if you were playing multiple families, each of your families can hire their own butler. So that's pretty nice.
Well, it looks like he did an okay job.
Yeah, that actually did turn out okay. That's not one of the worst makeup jobs I've seen on a children. So decent work, Alexander. And just one more fun one. Mortimer, being the classic goth that he is, I want him to come over and try on some goth makeup. So goth is actually one of our categories on here. So why don't we just go for some nice black cat eyes for Mortimer? Oh no, you're not getting out of here, Mortimer. No, no, no.
Oh, good. She's not paying attention. I'm happy
I
about
am.
that. She is. Oh no. So,
Oh, you
someone's
handsome
wondering.
devil.
Someone was wondering if butlers have a specifically generated list of butlery names, or do we just use regular sim generation?
No, it's still kind of regular sim names. I think we lucked out with Mr. Lighter here today. But yeah, you can have any butler of any background, any ethnicity. Our butlers actually are
He's drinking
always
in the doorway.
they're always adults or elders. So let's see. Oh, I think that suits you, Mortimer. Those eyes are looking wonderful.
It's a very subtle change. Are there any no club rules for this pack as well?
No club rules. The Glow Bar actually does support the existing kind of bar rules, whether being a mixologist or drinking the juice that's made, but no new bar or club rules themselves. You know what? I think it's getting to be around dinner time. Might be a good time to have our butler prepare a meal for us.
Looks like he might have already done that.
Oh,
Or someone might have.
he
Someone's
do
cooked.
some cooking?
Nope, someone's cooked.
Let's see.
Someone made grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese.
No, he did. Oh, our butler did make
Oh,
it.
he did make it. Okay. Okay. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll try his grilled cheese. Let's call the family to a meal here. Oh, look at Alexander already sneaking one.
Looks like-
Everyone's getting hungry. Oh, just caught him. Caught him. So when he's away from the family, sometimes butlers will do a little bit of their own, either to sometimes satisfy their hunger, or they need fun sometimes, so they do some interactions like bubble baths, or they'll get on their computer. But that's really only when nobody's looking. If you walk in on your butler while they're doing those things, they'll get surprised and a little embarrassed, and they'll immediately go back to their work. You don't have to admonish them or scold them for slacking or anything. They'll take care of that themselves. Now, something I really like when I am dining and I'm feeling rich, I want a little music with my meal. So why don't I just click on Brooks here, and let's assign him a specific task. Now, this is kind of a contextually sensitive menu, where depending on the objects you have in your home, depending on the situations going on in your home, you'll have different choices here. But this is if you really specifically want him to do something. So I would love for Brooks to play the violin for us while we dine. And so you can see it's really just the utmost inconvenience, where no matter what your sim is doing, they can kind of pull out the little butler bell, they can order the butler to do something, and he will come over and respond.
The most dignified manner possible.
Yes. Now, please play us a tune. Now, depending on your butler, they can come with various skill levels. Now, they'll always be skilled enough to at least use the object at its very basic level, but some of them might be exceptional pianists or violinists. Unfortunately, we can't hear what he's playing, but hopefully it is lovely for all of you out there.
We can tell a little bit about the visuals, and it does look like he's doing an okay job.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's doing all right.
Steve's
So-
giving a thumbs up. So.
I'm the only person in this room that can hear it. Yeah, sounds all right.
Quite nice. Now, Mortimer, he's in a bit of a bad mood, I'm going to say.
I don't know.
Sometimes you can just be mean and haughty and snobbish to your butler, and so why don't we actually be a little cruel? I'm going to insult my butler, and we're going to develop a bad relationship with him, because there is some fun behavior that can spring from that.
I do love the comment of play us some music and don't you dare look us in the face while you do it.
That's what Trevor said.
While we're just kind of insulting our butler here, any other questions we can take?
Sure, we got a whole bunch. If you marry the butler and move him in, will he keep his butler duties?
Oh, so that's actually an interesting one. So you can fully romance your butler, you can develop relationships with your butler, but if you want to take that ultimate commitment and get married, you will need to dismiss your butler first. You can't have them both being an employee and a family member at the same time. So simply dismiss your butler, and you can go to your phone and do that, dismiss butler service. That's actually the nice way to do it.
Yeah.
There is a rather rude way to do it, which we'll see in a little bit. But
what will your butlers do if there's no work in the household?
so they have a few standard options, but you're the designer, Thomas. Why don't you take this one?
So we did mention a little bit before. They can go and take a bubble bath. They might go read a book. They also might start just cleaning random things in the house or checking objects to make sure that they are clean. They'll make sure the house is maintained even if there's nothing else for them to fully do.
Sure. And you mentioned the book. It's actually a special butler book that they read. So if you catch them just reading, take a little closer look at it. It's pretty funny.
They are definitely also trying to improve themselves whenever they pull out that book. Or they can also use their computer to try to improve themselves as well. So if you have a computer on the lot, they'll try using that occasionally.
Mortimer, what are you doing fighting in front of your child? Oh, I hope he
If there is
wins.
a bird feeder in the backyard of the butler, do you kill it?
No, they will not.
Not that one. So we have a pretty terrible relationship with poor Brooks here. Full negative bar. So why don't we actually do one final act of nastiness, and we'll just reprimand him for his behavior. How dare you fight back?
He lost.
And so there's a little special behavior that can sometimes happen when you both reprimand your butler and you have a poor relationship with him.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to make it punishing where you could just never reprimand your butler, but because we're already kind of enemies, we may see that he goes and sabotages an object afterwards. Now, it's not an every time thing, so he might not this time, and that's fine as well.
He might do it. Though he also is technically creating more work for himself.
It's true. I do find it kind of ironic that he will go and cause an object to break, but at the same time, he is going to be the one who needs to repair that. We should probably all get out of poor Cassandra's room, too. Come to think of it. She's trying to sleep in there.
So if your relationship with the butler is too low, can they leave?
They can. So this might actually happen during our stream just because I have such a negative relationship with our butler. So if you do get to that point, there's really only so much abuse they can take at some level, and they will quit on their own. So, well, looks like he's not going to sabotage an object for us. Again, it's not an every time thing. So he is a very responsible, dutiful butler.
And that baby needs a lot of attention.
Sure does. But that said, we've kind of soured the relationship with poor Brooks here, so let's go ahead and just fire him. We're going to get a different butler in here, and we'll have Bella break the bad news.
Unfortunate. Do you like that reaction?
You know,
That's
after a long, hard day of work, let's all say goodbye to Brooks Leiter. Or Brooks Fleming. I'm sorry. Forgot his name. I think I got Fleming and Leiter confused in my head. I'm a bit of a James Bond fan, so.
Look how sad he is.
He also
Yeah.
clearly has to
See
go to
ya.
the bathroom. So
yes,
that's
he
really
also has to
rude.
go to the bathroom.
Not in my house. You want to do
You've
that,
already
take it
been
elsewhere.
fired.
Shrinking all that.
All right, so with him out of the way, let's hire one more butler, just see who we get this time.
So there's a question, can we set the butler's outfit?
So you can't really adjust your butler's outfit. They kind of have that standard uniform that they will always wear while they're attending to their duties. One thing you are able to do, though, is if you're familiar with the cast.full edit mode cheat, if, say, there's just something about your butler you don't love, maybe you wanted a male butler or female butler or, you know, big butler, small butler, you can go back into cast and change all of that. And that'll actually save when you go back to live mode. So let's see who we got this time. We'll let him do his grand entrance. Aha! Carson Beebe. Hello, Carson. So let's go introduce ourselves to Carson, because there's one last important aspect of butlers that I find really compelling when you're playing with them. And that's that every butler is a little bit different. When you get to know your butler, you can kind of see if they're going to play to the strengths of your household, or maybe they might have a little deviant behavior of their own.
We're not saying they can't be kleptomaniacs, but they can be.
So let's use a few friendly socials here and see if we can get to know our butler a little bit better.
So we did get a little unlucky where both our butlers were elders and male. Can your butlers be female and not elders?
They absolutely can. So something that's kind of important to note is if you were to use this option to dismiss the butler service, that just means, hey, I don't need a butler at this time. You're doing a great job, but maybe we'll call you in the future. Mm-hmm. So you could use hire butler again, and you'll probably get that same butler to come back. If you fire your butler, they are gone for good. They don't want anything to do with you. You're done with their service. So use the fire option if you want to hire a new butler who is a different butler. Mm-hmm. Now, I saw we did learn a little something about our sim. So he is a butler at Winterberg Butlering Academy. From 6 a.m. to 6 a.m., he never rests.
And never takes vacations.
And he happens to have the jealous trait. Now, it might be interesting seeing how that plays into our household. Should we maybe start a romance with him? And then we go back to our normal, like, home play while, you know, the husband's around or something. That could be very interesting. But as you get to know your butler, that's where these stories really start to emerge, which is cool. So that's really kind of a full look at vintage glamour stuff. This is going to be a pretty exciting stuff pack. One other thing I just wanted to highlight, though, that is already in everybody's games is the new holiday content. Now, this just came out in yesterday's game update, so some of you might have seen it already. But you can go to your computer now and you can order holiday crackers. Now, this is for anybody who has the Holiday Celebration Pack. It's actually a free pack that you can download and add to your game. So if you haven't done that already, go ahead and check it out. Now I'm going to order a whole bunch of these holiday crackers because I want to pop them open and see what we have inside. And just once Cassandra finishes with the bathroom here, we'll see what we get. And actually, maybe we'll play a trick on her father at the same time.
Oh man, cracking him while he's sleeping?
Yep, so poor Mortimer trying to catch some rest. Let's pop open this holiday cracker and see how it goes. Not your phone. Oh, a little piece of candy.
It wasn't loud enough for Mortimer.
Mortimer.
Oh, that woke him up.
So yeah, that'll make him fairly unhappy. I think we can take a look over here. He's got the rudely awoken from the holiday cracker moodlet. But I believe Cassandra actually got a new little object out of her holiday cracker, the Sexaduso sweater. So this is just one of the new Meduso collectibles. You can see he's feeling festive and Christmassy with his ugly holiday sweater.
He is.
And he is part of a new collection. His little cute 6-arm sweater there. So we can pop open our household collections and you see we have 1 of 8 now. Quite adorable. Each one has a different holiday theme. So just go in there, play around with the holiday crackers, and that'll be something fun to have. And just really quickly, I wanted to highlight, we added one other helpful thing with yesterday's update. If you go into build mode and open these filters, underneath packs, you can now sort for holiday items directly. So a really easy way to go find those in the catalog. Some of the new objects we added yesterday. Whoop, let's actually make a little space here. Get rid of our existing fireplace. And I'll just take out some of those mirrors as well. Still not enough space. Okay.
Laid everything on that wall.
It's a big fireplace, but some pretty options. This again came free for anybody in yesterday's patch. We had the Nutcracker. See if there's space for him on the table. Pretty adorable little fella. We had some new candles. I'm gonna get rid of this shit.
It's taking up everything.
It is. And yeah, also a nice new dining room table as well. So again, all free yesterday, part of our Vintage Glamour update, but you'll have to wait until next Tuesday, December 6th to get your hands on the rest of it. So, any other questions we wanted to answer just before we go today, Thomas?
I think we got a few more. So, can you customize the sim from the gallery for the butler? So, can you customize the butler from the gallery?
Interesting. No. The butler is, since he's not actually part of your household, he's a hired service for your household. Butlers don't travel through the gallery, so you can't just pull down a butler from the gallery. You'll always need to hire them through that phone service.
Yeah, but you can use the cheat that Graham mentioned earlier to try to change his appearance.
Yeah, if you want to customize their appearance, by all means, use that cheat and take them back into Create a Sim.
Let's see. If the butler's asleep, can you ring the bell to wake them up?
So no, actually, because they are asleep, you would need to first wake up your butler. It's the only time really when you can't just directly request something to them. But that actually brings up an interesting point about your butler's needs, because it's a little different than a standard sim. Maybe you could just share a little bit about what you did with that, Thomas.
Yes, for the most part, the butler only needs to take care of his hunger, his fun, and his I think just bladder. No, hunger and fun. I think the only things he really needs to care about. So he'll
Hunger,
occasionally
fun, and energy.
energy. You're right. Yes, because he needs to sleep. So the butler does need the bed so he can be able to go to sleep. He will make food for himself occasionally. We've seen him grab a drink. And then if his fun gets low enough and he has nothing to do, he will try to find something fun to do for himself. Usually resolves in him taking a bath, going to the computer, doing those occasional things you see him do, and the fun stuff he can that's available to him.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point. I don't know if we happen to pull up that question, but somebody asked earlier about kind of romance with the butler and how that might affect the household and how they behave. But because your butler doesn't really have to take care of their social need, they're the consummate professional. They're always working. They don't go around and just socialize with your Sims. So really you need to kind of start or initiate the conversation with them.
Yep.
Otherwise, they won't be too in your face all the time.
There'll be that person in the background that kind of just does things for you and keeps your house maintained.
Yeah.
Would the butlers use the sauna if they're exhausted?
Interesting.
So I don't think that's available to them. They might do it if it's one of those fun things, and they occasionally want to do it. But I think there's because of how much they're usually working, they tend not to use something that would take that long.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, Bella.
If you have a butler, that you initially set, like the one you set to not do any gardening, when you fire that butler, do you have to start whole new commands for the new one that comes in?
Sure, because he is a different butler, he's not aware of the commands you received previously. Just making sure everybody heard the question, because we fired our previous butler and we told him not to garden. This is a new butler. He doesn't have the same orders given to him. So we would need to go in here and tell him to stop gardening again. But obviously, any other situation, as long as you keep the same butler, he'll do just fine.
So another question, do the butlers follow you to Granite Falls? So can you take them on vacation?
No.
Yes. Butlers are hired for that household, and that's where they work.
Your butler's very much a stay-at-home household. He or she is extremely dedicated, loyal, and they will take care of the home at all times, at all costs. They do not take vacations. They do not relax in the park. They will not go to a restaurant. They will tend to your home, and they will make it their sole mission in life to ensure you have the most convenient lifestyle possible for your approximately $2,000 a week. You will get your money's worth.
They do not pass go. They do not collect $200 unless you pay them.
Can butlers work with apartments?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's no reason you can't hire a butler in an apartment or just have them staying there with you. Of course, they're typically a little smaller, a little more space conscious, so keep that in mind when hiring your butler and giving them a place to sleep.
So for this pack, are there any new lot traits?
No, we did not include lot traits in this one. I won't say that's off the table. You know, if we think about that maybe for a future stuff pack, it could be something that we do. But actually, this
There's the
pack was
finger swipe.
Yep. This pack was developed kind of concurrently with City Living, so that was new technology that they implemented. So we didn't consider that for this stuff pack.
Can butlers prepare vegetarian specific meals?
Interesting. They cannot actually. So if you have that kind of specific dietary need, you might want to keep that in mind when preparing either your own meals for certain sims or if a butler is going to be worth it for your family.
So they may make it when you ask them to make a meal, but it won't be because you're a vegetarian.
Right.
I think Urban Simmer asked if how long does the makeup actually last?
Oh, so I talked a little bit about this earlier. The question was really, once you apply makeup using the vanity table, how long does that last? And it's until you perform certain interactions that remove it. So if I just sat down and read a book, that makeup is going to stay there as long as I'm doing that. But if I do things like take a shower or go to sleep, things that change my outfit in certain ways where it no longer makes sense to have that makeup on.
Jump in the pool.
Yeah, that will remove the makeup. And then it just goes back to whatever default appearance you set for them in Create a Sim.
Someone's lamenting the fact that they don't have a butler army.
But-
Sorry. Let's see.
There were a few people wanting to see the different
Jeez.
build options, like actually going to build mode to cycle through windows and stuff.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so we didn't take a look at our windows, did we? Let's just pull that up quickly, and we can take a look at some of the new wallpaper materials as well.
So someone asked, can the butlers become mean and kill you? No, this is not a murder
Wow.
mystery. The butler didn't do it. The player did.
You might be playing the wrong game. So let's just look at what we have in build mode here. We have one lovely new window. I'll just go over to the kitchen here. So you can grab that out of the catalog, but it comes in a variety of styles. Some plainer ones, some lovely colors on some of them, kind of standard black, standard white, and gold trim, always extraordinary. And then for our door, we have this nice new Art Deco door. Again, kind of plain white, plain black, plus a bunch of different colors under the sun.
Someone asked, with the butler steal stuff. If they have the kleptomaniac trait, they might take small objects, but they won't take big things they can't lug out of the house.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. There is no limit to the traits that your butler can have. So I mentioned this on Twitter earlier this week. I got a butler who is mean, who hates children, and who is a kleptomaniac. And I think they swiped a few objects before I found that out, but I immediately fired them afterwards.
I think the other one we had a lot of fun with was having a squeamish butler who every time he cleaned something would complain about it.
Yeah, the lazy, squeamish butler, that's another classic. So again, that kind of plays back into how important it is to get to know your butler at least a little bit.
Yep.
To make sure they are a good fit for your home.
Haza Plumbob wanted to know if your butler could make the pufferfish nigiri to potentially kill your sims.
So I am not overly familiar with how the new City Living recipes worked. If that is a standard
thinking-
recipe,
I don't think that one is available to the butler because it had a chance to kill your sims.
oh,
So
okay.
I think we made a conscious decision for that one not to appear.
I'm going to go with what Thomas said. He's
Yeah.
the one who hooked it up.
I think we decided butler can't accidentally kill you.
Any last questions?
Someone wanted to know how the butlers passed that the academy.
Well, we haven't visited the Windenburg Butlering Academy, and We can't currently, but maybe someday we shall enroll ourselves in the fine training that our butlers receive. I don't know. It's not happening currently, so.
I really think this guy is a very neat sim because he just complained about a puddle of water that is on the ground outside.
That is a good hint. Only neat sims do that, so
Yeah.
this might be an excellent butler for us.
And there's one request from Simguru Ruski wanting to see all of the Medusos.
Oh.
If we can get a couple more, maybe.
Simguru Ruski, wherever you may be.
Like
Next
4
to-
feet from you.
4 feet off the camera.
I will not reveal those on this stream.
Oh no.
I think that's one of those things that's fun for players to find. Like we showed in the collection, there's 8 different plushies out there. If
Even
you're
the
not
one-
familiar with what a Meduso is, because I saw a few people confused on the forums about that, they are one of the void critters that actually came from kids' room stuff. So if you're interested in more stuff from your kids or finding out about Meduso, go check out the Sims 4 Kids Room stuff. It was a pack that came out earlier this year.
Ooh.
Oh, I think I know his last trait. I think he's insane.
Oh.
Maybe not the best butler after all.
No, probably not. So one thing we'll know, because we are seeing the butler a ton until you decide to cook something, is you're not charged if the butler decides to cook something for himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he will not take money from you if he decides to cook.
Any last pressing questions? Say we wrap it up? Okay, I'm going to take that as a yes. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Again, this is the Sims 4 Vintage Glamour stuff. It is coming out next week, Tuesday, December 6th. I know exactly what you want, Steve, out of the
I'm
corner
just
of
saying,
my
oh
eye.
yeah, do that.
Your plugs for the Twitch channel are not as important as my plugs for this
Oh,
stuff.
thank God, I thought there was something
Well,
else
I
I was trying to
mean, at
reference.
some point.
Tuesday, December 6th, the Sims 4 Vintage Glamour stuff. Same stuff pack price that you're used to. Thank you all so much for joining us today, no matter where you may be. And a big thanks to the stuff pack team who may be watching back in our studio. They just knocked it out of the park on this stuff pack. It is fantastic, and I'm so proud of the work we did on this one. So thank you. Hopefully you will all be enjoying it next week. Be sure to like and follow our Twitch channel. It is
For the record,
twitch.com/The Sims.
I was waving because now Amanda's on screen at a higher resolution, so she can wave.
Oh,
but
true.
Because more than 10 pixels.
Yeah, I should quickly mention we're in our lovely new streaming studio today. You may notice our little background back there. We're planning something a little fancier in the future. Steve, do you want to improve my pitch for
No,
Twitch? We've got
no,
these
no,
room
just-
microphones now, so hopefully you're
We
hearing me.
do. Now you can hear us, including Nadia, who refuses to actually say anything.
Is that it? Like, follow
Yeah,
Twitch?
like, follow, yeah.
Like,
Then you'll
follow
know.
The
And then
Sims?
you'll know when we go live. Well, 10 minutes before we actually.
Like, follow The Sims on Facebook.
We need to have a
Yeah,
camera
yeah,
over by you,
Facebook.
Steve, so whenever you decide to talk up, you can just put yourself
Yeah.
on screen for a little bit.
Another
Come-
camera back here.
Come click like on a lot of
Behind the
forum
scenes.
posts.
Come
yeah. I think that's about it. I think we
Snapchat.
covered it.
We're all sorts of social media.
All right, thank you everyone. We'll see you next week for the Sims 4 Vintage Glamour stuff. Goodbye.
Have a good rest of the day, everyone.
Bye.